2, 1. Does that mean we're ready to go now, D?
Yeah, start.
We're starting right now. Episode 7. I am like, I don't know, I'm a little bit in awe today. I hate to say that to you, man. He shakes his head as he looks at me, but Darius, you know, we're gonna start out with how you doing today? Yeah, turn my headphones up just a little bit, D, and my microphone just a little bit. We're gonna make sure that it's crisp in the headphones. Does this sound crisp in your headphone over there? Good. Episode 7. You imagine that, D? We've come a long way since we've been doing this. What you rolling today? Let's get a picture of you. Where's camera 4? Oh, keep it up there for a minute. What do we got?
New Balances.
Ooh,
Balance for my dad's team.
wow, there you go.
Just blue shirt, Nike pants, regular.
So dad is who again? Because people don't know us. Who are you again?
I'm Darius,
Yeah.
and my dad is Doug Alves.
Ah, that's right. You're the one that surprises people, you know, because you got that height on your brother. You know that, right? You got the looks and the height, got better hair. You got everything going on besides that, young Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. How's school? You back in?
Unfortunately, yes. It hasn't been bad. Just, it's college, so I'm taking a bunch of useless classes that have nothing to do with my major.
What's your major?
Computer science.
It is going to be CI. Good, cool. So you just, what are you, sophomore?
Yeah.
So don't have no sophomore slump. Behave when you get there. You know what I mean? You got that? You still got camera 4 going one more time? All right, good. Let's go. So today, I'm Derek Perry, by the way. This is the Hey Coach podcast. We don't do that often, D. People have mentioned that to me. This Hey Coach podcast is, we're trying to, everybody's got the national pundits. Everybody's got people who wants to talk to, and Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel, obviously, after a big win last night in Buffalo. Go Pats. That was awesome. But I like to take it to the local level. Being an assistant coach as I am, again, my name is Derek Perry. I am the assistant coach at Bridgewater Rainham basketball. I'm a lot more than just that, but most of the time in my coaching tenure.
Bridgewater Rainham Trojans.
Oh, look at that little sound effect thrown on the top. I love it. So we got, some years with that. And today's episode 7, I am absolutely, we don't really know each other, but I've known you for a long time, and you certainly know our program for a long time as well, too. A total admiration for how you run your things, coach of the Division I boys basketball state champions. I'll say it again, because you got to love that. Division I boys basketball in Massachusetts. That's the top level state champions, head coach, CJ NeEly. How are you today, CJ?
Awesome.
Let's just start with, how's it feel? How's it feel to be a state champion?
Leaf, honestly, for a while, it feels great. But, haven't been the other times and not getting it done. There was the fear started to set in there. So I was telling you right before we got started that my first reaction was just like the weight off your shoulders of like, thank God. And there was that shot in the air to send it into overtime. So it wasn't a comfortable 10-point win or anything like that, man. They got one off, which was, we took away Teagan and didn't let him get the open look.
So you're talking about the final game.
Yes.
And it's obviously a much more to your life than that final game. But you're talking about Newton North.
Yes.
And it was a 3-point, 55, 52, something like that. It was a 3-point game.
57, 54.
Yes, something in that range, where there was a last-second heave, basically.
It was a heave. It was online, but it was definitely not a quality look. But it was a look, and it was online.
So you're saying that you became 100 pounds less immediately after that?
Definitely.
What is? We'll just talk about that. What is that leading up to that? What is that you're feeling that's putting that on you?
Just the pressure, you mean?
Not even the pressure. I know everybody has pressure, right?
Yeah.
You're going to a state champion, but what do you think it really is inside of all of us that does that?
I don't know. It's part of it's just wanting to be the best and doing your best and having that drive all the time. And then there's honestly, if I'm being fully honest, it's just like, as much as you want to be your own man and not worry about the outside voices, you start thinking about, man, can I not win that one? We're the Buffalo Bills of high school basketball. Are we going to lose 4 of these things and can't get it done? And that whole thing, that narrative comes out. And
people like to people give the small talk.
Yeah.
I don't think about it. We do that's the truth of it.
Oh, definitely.
That's the truth of it.
It's so many sleepless nights. It's so many hours that you put in that it's so much that you want for the kids. You know, you see what they've done every day. You see the disappointment of the year before and how crushed all those guys were to lose the year before and what that looked like and what that locker room was. And you just want it for them so bad. And to see what it was after, you realize it really is something that special.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
crazy.
you get that's a forever thing.
It
You don't
is.
you only get so many forever things in sports, right?
Definitely. No, the mental images I'll have in my brain just like frozen in there forever. And just
So let's back up because now that now everybody wants to know about that. Of course, and we're going to talk some more, but we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, I say it every show. The sign over there says, "Hey, coach." I want to get to know you, not just what is basketball 101, because everybody's got their philosophies and stuff like that, and they can argue that. But more so, you know, question one: where did your love for basketball come from? CJ NeEly.
Honestly, playing in my neighborhood as a little kid and just the stuff that doesn't exist as much now, unfortunately, just knocking on my neighbor's door and coming up with games and all different age groups of kids in the neighborhood, finding a way to create some sort of fair teams that we could have the third graders playing with the eighth graders.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Easton. I went to Oliver Ames, and we had a really cool small neighborhood that I thought was huge back in the day. It's tiny now. I've gone down the street and seen my old house, and it's just like such a small neighborhood. And I thought my house was huge, and it's this little Cape house, and
It was huge. It was great.
enormous.
Yeah.
But the neighborhood was a classic.
Do you remember some names back then? What do you got?
I
Who's the
got
neighborhood
Ian
kids?
Griffiths, Gavin Griffiths, their two brothers. Tom Percy lived up
I
the
love
street.
it.
He was an older guy. He's a great athlete. My brother would just back me down for in the post. I mean, he was never a basketball player, but he had the size on me. He'd back me down for about
So you
5,
can go
6
back,
years.
what are you, mid-40s? You can go back 30 years just like that,
Oh,
right?
easy.
So it feels so like yesterday
The
is when
best
you're out
days.
there doing it, right?
The best.
So when did it get a little bit, or who would you say helped you get into organized ball? And when did it get like, you know, hey, I think I like basketball the best? Was it day one, or
I
did
don't
you
know,
play
it was
multiple
weird.
sports?
I did, yeah. I mean, I played like every kid. I played
Played the
soccer,
seasons?
basketball, baseball. You know, it's weird. We talk a lot about the AAU world and youth sports now and how it's just like 24/7, 12 months a year. It's like, man, I played basketball in the wintertime. I went to a couple camps and then I played in my driveway with my friends. And it wasn't that so intense that every game is being filmed, watched by every parent and judged. It was just we were playing because it was fun. I had a guy in town, Ryan Anderson's a ref. I don't know if you know Ryan, but his
I do.
dad got me into basketball over at the Brockton YMCA. He took a bunch of us over there, and that was my first actual team.
With refs and stuff like that?
refs. and
Get
I
your
was-
T-shirt?
Man, I was double dribbling like crazy. I didn't even know what a double dribble was. I was dribbling, picking it up, dribbling again. It took me a season to learn what that meant. That's where my first real basketball was. We had some pretty good Metro teams, and I was just a tall, skinny kid that they threw underneath.
So back in the day, there wasn't as predominant AAU, right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I
so-
barely played AAU, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I played maybe my last couple of years of high school.
I mean, you're 10 years younger than me, so I know there was nothing in my day. I didn't
Yeah.
know if it even started in your day. I didn't think it did, right?
I mean,
So-
there was like the big teams were out there, but I was not making it.
You sound like Darish's dad over there, you know, and all of us. It was get down to the boys club around in
Definitely.
Taunton with your 5 guys in high school, and
yeah,
winners stay on.
to be quite honest, I didn't even want to play AAU. I wanted to play with the guys on my team because
Yeah.
playing for OA meant so much more to me than anything. I just
Yeah.
wanted to win a state championship back then for the Tigers. You know, I didn't care about anything else, you know, and pick up, like you said, and win, stay on. Like that was the best.
So you're getting into closer to high school, and it's starting to become. Did you play right through freshman through?
So I actually got cut in 8th grade.
Ooh.
So I almost quit basketball.
Say that
entirely.
again for all those kids out there, right?
I was cut in 8th grade.
Wait, what?
That's the wife.
Cut in 8th grade from the school team. I was Coach Moscato's second year, sorry, in maybe it was first year in Easton. And I was actually going to BC High. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Probably not. I wasn't very good. I was skinny and I wasn't really as aggressive as I needed to be. And I'd always made all the Metro teams, so it was easy for me. I just kind of come up assuming you're going to make it.
Now you're tall. You're 6'5"-ish, right?
Yep,
So you always tall,
I've
young
always
kid too,
been the
tall,
tallest
skinny.
guy. Yeah, I've always been one of the tallest guys, but no weight to me whatsoever. I was
Yeah.
getting tossed around by the big, strong kids that hit puberty first. So
Around in Taunton, that's all the Portuguese who hit puberty at 11, 12. So.
mustaches, the
Oh,
kids
yeah,
in middle
yeah.
school,
Body your ass.
right? Exactly. No, I didn't. I almost gave it up. I was mad, and then one of my best friends now, this guy Mark Murphy, was their 8th grade coach, and then he moved up to be the freshman coach next year. And I'm like, I'm not doing it, man. This guy cut me. I can't do it. My parents are like, you're doing it. You're gonna go one more year, give it a full off season of training, get down the park, get more shots up, work your way back. And I snuck on the team as a freshman and just kept going. And then from that point, I just developed a mindset and Coach Murphy kind of built it into me. He was my first coach that really taught me about working hard and what it meant to give everything you have to the game, and I think.
How do you see that in your head when you think about Coach Murphy? Like what was he? How did he get that? How did he get that in you? Right?
Methods that aren't allowed anymore, probably.
It's all right. So you can say them. Nobody's going back in time to arrest. I've got coaches, man. They didn't know how to even use proper enunciation. It was just all swear words.
Definitely. Listen, he didn't swear a ton, but Coach Moscato certainly had his share of choice words for you as you got older. But they just pushed it to a limit. And they called you out, and they were very honest about it, and they weren't afraid to tell you some words that, like I said, that maybe today you get fired for.
True.
It was a daily basis, and some people would say like that was abuse. My dad would go home and complain, and my dad would be like, too bad, he's trying to make you better. He's trying to make you better. And he was. And I look back, and it made me such a better player. Because I think most of my basketball playing and coaching career just comes down to like outworking people, and that was something I took from that day, and I've kind of gone.
So that's like freshman, sophomore year, right? So when did you hit varsity?
I made varsity as a sophomore, so
Cool.
that was cool.
Very cool.
Started as just barely make it as
and
a
that's
freshman.
like no swing times. No, you're either on varsity. Did you play
I was
JV
swinging.
too?
I was swinging. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually had. It's funny, in the beginning, I had no interest in swinging down to the JV. I'm like, swing down to the JV. Sorry, Ed, I don't know if you take that out, but no, but I didn't want to play JV. I'm like, I'm on varsity now. I'm a big deal, But I wasn't playing. I was just watching. So then I got a little taste of JV, and it was fun. You get to play a lot. You're getting minutes. So I always tell kids, like, go play and get better and have fun and learn to be someone that can score 20.
It's fun. Right now at the high school at BR right now, the starting quarterback plays for us, plays as well too. One of the best athletes in the school, but he's not big, not anything. And last year as a junior, he was starting quarterback. Well, you come off a football season, you're not ready to go.
Oh God, no.
You're just not ready to run. Do you know what a kid he was to be like, can I play some JV games? Like, I know I'm like your 6th, 7th man and I'm getting some minutes, but can I go play? Here's the starting quarterback on the football team.
Right.
And can I play JV? I was like, man, that's like the best kind of.
He wants to play.
It's fun too, though.
Right.
Like you said, he was having fun doing that. It's not serious pressure, people watching, all that. People are.
Bro, you can make a mistake on a little bit lower stakes too. You miss a couple shots in a varsity game that the team's relying on you to make the state tournament. It means a little different than a JV game at 5:30. Not that it didn't mean the same to you as the player on the court.
It does to the kids on the court.
But you know what? You can learn how to become the player you need to be for varsity.
Some of the most fun I have as coaches watching the varsity kids watch a JV game when it's close, and they just get everybody excited and up and going, and it's the best when they're bought in like that. So junior, senior year,
things went well. I started both, and I captain as a senior, and just. Did a good job. I think I had a couple good years there, and we had some good teams. Lost in the sectional finals as a sophomore and a senior.
Sectional finals. So you got a taste of a little bit of a run. Look at that
Bringing
competitive edge, right?
I used to not be able to drive UMass Boston, past New York Boston without giving it the finger. I hated that place. We lost so many games at UMass Boston. And
oh, you know what? I love it. I love it.
Get to the Garden. There was like one step from the Garden. I wanted to be there so bad and just didn't make it. Overtime lost my senior year to Fian. And now I work with a guy who was on that team.
So before coaching, before doing any of the stuff that you've had success with now, how did that help, or did it help you with your drive? You went to Bates right after this.
Yep.
So you went to Bates and played all 4 years there?
Yep. All 4 years. Yep.
Cool. And how did that kind of set your tone going to Bates? Was it a good taste in your mouth with basketball and the whole experience of it all? Did you feel like it helped you getting through high school? And you know what
definitely. I mean, definitely helped.
Bates a good school, so you had grades, or you were doing something right.
Yeah, grades were solid. I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't like AP everything like these guys that have to be to get into Bates nowadays.
I know. I went to Bentley. Trust me,
Yeah.
I was AP nothing.
I can't believe
I know.
believe what these kids are
I
doing to
know.
get into these schools. But the grades were A's, but they were in reasonable classes,
Same here.
and
Yep.
and that was good enough. If you were decent at basketball, and the coach gave you a little push, get you into something. My coach always said, Coach Moscato always said, use your basketball as a tool to get you to a place you might not be able to get to, and got me in the door, and everything went great at Bates. To be honest
Smart
with you,
man. Smart man.
and the OA experience was something that I think helped build what I wanted to build eventually when I got to have my own team. It's just that camaraderie for town and for each other, and I'm sure we'll talk about
Yeah, of
being a part of
course.
something bigger than yourself is a big
So
thing.
so Bates was a good experience as well too. Any luck, D, on any of that over there?
Yeah, they just came back.
It did. Just pull up that PowerPoint.
It's just 3 JPEGs. It's not.
Okay, no worry. They might come up later. Little technical difficulties here today. Nothing to do with Darius. It has everything to do with me and the wonderful Dropbox company today. So you're getting a plug. Had you for years, Dropbox, but could do better today for me. Anyways, so I noticed that your career, Bates, you had a pretty good career there as well too, yeah?
Yeah, Bates was awesome. Honestly, Coach Riley at Bates is like kind of a life role model for me. So Coach Moscato set the tone of
Coach Riley, what's his first name?
Joe Riley.
Joe Riley.
He's the coach at Wesleyan now. They actually just went to the Final Four this past
nice.
year. He's like my ultimate role model. He's not just being a basketball coach, just being a man and how you treat people and what you bring to each day and the positive energy that he would bring to practice, but also a high level of accountability. He talked a lot about effort and attitude, being the controllables, and these are all things that we hear all the time now as coaches. I'm sure on every podcast you listen to or book you read, but when you're a kid, you forget that you have to constantly give kids those messages because they're not hearing them all the time like you are.
That's true. That's true.
And he's just an incredible husband, dad. The way he goes about his life really changed me as a guy. And honestly, going to Bates changed me too.
So I read that you got an award there, the first one ever.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You're talking about the one named.
I know it is.
Yeah, so it's practice player of the year, and it's just basically the guy.
No, there was another one for
Oh, man. Okay.
academics.
Wigton Scholar Athlete, maybe?
Wigston Scholar. Yeah.
I had that one. I thought you were talking. So Coach.
I saw that practice one as well, too.
Okay.
Let me tell you, that's F that. I know they're saying that you should be playing, but you weren't, basically.
See, I was still playing. It was just an award for the guy that works the hardest at practice.
Really?
And coach, my freshman year, I said, I'm going to win this 4 years in a row. And he's like, if you do it 4 years in a row, I'll name the award the CJ NeEly Award. And it happened. So they're still giving it out.
Nice.
My buddy, my teammates.
I did not pick that up anywhere.
Yeah. So my teammate's the coach there now, and he still gives it out, which is cool. He took over for Coach Riley. So it's like, it's lasted.
That's awesome.
22 years now, which is
sick. Man, that is awesome. Yeah, this is what we were kind of waiting on here too. So that's what'll be on most of the social media going out there. Hit the next one, D, when you get a chance. And you don't have to share this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what the George Winston Scholar Award, right? And your team captain, but 1,000 points there as well too, huh? So so how are you getting your points, bud?
Honestly,
I go to the video. What's going to show me? Your average like 16, 17 a game. I read or something.
Man, posting up. I was a big post guy. You know, I love to get inside and. I was never big, but it was kind of like bigger guys pull them outside a little bit but it was all mid range. I'm no three. I think I took maybe 5, 6 threes.
You scored 1,000 points with no threes.
I think I made 3 to 4 threes. In my
career. That's a lot. That's 500 buckets, right? Think of it that way.
Yeah, wild.
That's 500.
I can't believe
buckets.
it happened. We had some guys shooting a lot of shots early in my career too, and they were good friends of mine. They were younger and. They all scored 1,000 too. It's wild.
Oh wow!
How many guys we had.
So did you guys have any kind of success? I didn't hear.
Honestly, my first year not well. No, we didn't win the NESCAC. No way.
Oh, you didn't win it.
Williams was a national champion.
Oh, okay.
One of the years with Mike Crotty from Middlesex.
Oh, okay. He was there too. I actually got his name down here somewhere as well too.
We beat them actually.
Did you?
1 year.
You get that on him?
We beat them, but they got me back and. They ended my career too, so it wasn't bad.
Oh, really? Game?
Mike was excellent. Mike was an exceptional point guard. Yeah. They were loaded.
Yeah.
We had a nice team. We had some injuries, and at one point, I think we were 16-2, and then we just couldn't finish out the year. We had 2 guys go down, and one kid went abroad, and
abroad at that point was kind of odd, right? I mean,
Yeah, it was
that's not
kind of
like-
annoying, to be honest with you. We weren't, if he's listening, Ramon, you never should have done that. It pissed me off, ruined the whole year. But no, we lost our
That's
starting 2 guard to abroad, and then the guy that replaced him, who's the coach there now, broke his foot in his first game or one of his first couple games in, so he was out.
Too,
Hard to
trust me.
replace two scoring 2 guards.
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
third
yeah.
string guy in there and still win games. The NESCAC's not gonna.
You know what's great about, and it's with all the guys that come in here, talking about your old school sports always just leaves a smile on your face.
Oh,
you could
yeah.
be talking about the worst times and the best times. So back in those days, coaches were crazy. What was some of the crazy? Did you have 5 a.m. something, sprint, anybody like over the top on you guys that you can recall back in the day?
Moscato would never, he'd have the whole, you don't touch your ball type thing, and you're going to have first 3 days of trials are going to be just like lane slides and sprints and stuff like that. Coach Riley used to, at Bates, would give us the practice plan that we'd have after we got time off to go home for Christmas. Like, this is what is awaiting you
when you come
4
back
days from now. So if you
cool.
think you're going to go home
and just chow
sit
down
on your butt, it's not
have a couple
gonna-
beers
you better
somewhere
be
in
ready
there.
to throw up when you get back. So
yeah.
I'd be going to OA practices and running on the side while the high school kids were practicing just to stay in shape. I didn't want to be the guy of.
Yeah, good coaches are like that.
Yeah.
You got to keep, especially young men, you got to keep them, accountable.
Absolutely.
That's some biggest. I think that's the biggest thing a coach can do. Keep them accountable to each other, to themselves. You know what I mean? And if you can do that, then you usually have some kind of success going forward.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you said and we were talking on beforehand. Oliver Ames obviously wasn't your first stop. You stopped off at Stonehill. You got into coaching now.
Wheaton, my first job, I worked
Wheaton.
for Brian Wamsley. So my first year out of Bates, I worked a year for Coach Wamsley, who actually just stepped down as a Wheaton coach. He'd been there for that whole time and before.
Yep.
And then I worked for Dave McLaughlin at Stonehill, who's at Dartmouth now. That was a great experience. I almost, I had probably had a good shot at going to Yale. I had an interview at Yale to be an assistant at Yale. Honestly, I just didn't want that life, which is crazy. But
How did you make the switch from player to wanting to coach? Always something you're thinking about?
Yeah, so we have this thing at Bates called short term. It's it's like you do semester 1, semester 2, and then like a high school, April vacation. From that point to like the end of May, it's like a 5-6 week window where you can take one class. Doesn't go to your GPA. It's like an exploratory thing where you can try something different, come up with a cool project. So my senior year, Coach Riley and I came up with this thing where I could work on basically being a college coach and worked for him for 6 weeks, helped them with recruiting, helped them with film work, helped them with planning different things, visits for kids on campus. We went to a Nike basketball clinic. I got to meet Coach K and Bill Self, which ended up me working at Kansas camp. It's just like all these
Wow.
cool things that like.
What a
opened up
guy,
from that.
Miss Scott. He helped put that together.
That was
I'm sorry.
Joe Riley. Yeah,
Joe
that was
Riley.
Coach Riley. Yeah,
Wow, that's
unreal.
unreal, man.
And I would just go up after all the lectures. They're doing autographs. And I'm like, hey, what are you going to do to be a college basketball coach? What's the next step? I'm like, work as many camps as you can. So I go to Bill Self and I'm just like, how about yours? He's like, sure, here's my card. Call my people. We'll get you down there. And next thing you know, Wayne Simeon and all these guys, I don't know if you remember those guys
I
from.
do remember Wayne Simmons.
So I'll go to Kansas. I land, I'm walking to my dorm by myself. Obviously, know no one in Kansas. Fly out there alone. You're going to work this camp. And I'm walking up the street and a truck pulls over and it's Wayne Simeon in a pickup truck. He's like, hey, coach, you need a ride? The guy's like 2 years younger than me, maybe, And I'm like, yeah, sure. So he ends up kind of befriending me for the week. And I'm sitting at breakfast with Langford and what's his name? Heinrich is coming back and Drew Good. I'm going to pick up at night and watching them play. I watched the Spurs beat the Nets that year in the finals from Paul Pierce's locker in the Kansas locker room. It's like, what an experience. And I'm just by myself.
Wow,
yeah.
You got a real good introduction
Cool.
to,
It was so
coaching.
cool, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that really must have just said, okay, there's something in my blood for this, or how do
Sure.
I make this work? So turns into coming back home.
Yep.
And then you started doing some of the college game. How do you switch off and go back to your alma mater there?
Honestly, I just, I had a couple times where I'm just looking at my life and seeing what kind of existence I wanted to have in the world. College coaching is insane. The amount of hours are required, the amount of your entire life is going to be. And I remember Dave saying, your life has to be Stonehill basketball. And I remember that quote forever. It's like, that's an awesome idea for some people. And for me, it was just, I wanted basketball to be a big part of my life, but I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to be a guy that's 24 years old and, to be honest, running around a little bit and having some fun.
Yep.
So I called Coach Moscato. There was an opening. I became the freshman coach at OA, and I'd always kind of want to be a teacher too. So I kind of got going on my teaching career at that point, and from there it was kind of went from freshman to JV, and then based on your graphic here, we got the Foxborough thing here.
Yeah. So OA was just kind of like a springboard of basically what you wanted to do. Yeah. So what do you do for work? What is your profession?
Currently, I'm the wellness K-12 wellness director in Foxborough. So
cool.
I was a phys ed teacher forever, health and phys ed. Started in history in Brockton.
So you keep this long trail of where you've been. So you still live in Northeast End, right?
Still live Southeast End. Yeah, right over the.
You still work at Foxborough.
Yep. Sure. Yeah.
So you haven't left any of the places.
I love all these places.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You had good experiences where you were.
I did.
So you take over at Foxborough High.
Yep.
It wasn't like I was surprised. I was like you were a 500 coach or something when you were there, right?
Yeah.
Like I
had a lot to learn. I'll tell you that much. You think you have all the answers, and you're coming off of being a college assistant. You're like, obviously, first of all, obviously, I'm getting a job, right? Every job I applied didn't get maybe 4 or 5 varsity jobs, and I'm thinking like, these people are crazy. How could you not hire me? I'm a college assistant.
Exactly.
I played at Bates.
Right.
I had this resume, and it's kind of cockiness of a young kid and not realizing that a principal would rather have the math teacher, someone in the building,
somebody's accountable to the kids in this,
a little bit older.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm 25, 26. Like, what's the big deal? I'm old, at the time,
Brain's not fully developed to 26 there. So
no, yeah. So
yeah. Sorry, Darius. You got a couple years to go. Don't smirk at me. It's the truth. Look it up. You got the internet right over there.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's the truth. And that's for average people. So, I always tell my kids, you aren't rocket science. You you might be 27, all of you. But yeah, so you're young, though, to get a job, though. That's pretty good.
Definitely. In Bowood.
Foxborough's a good school. I mean,
yeah, great.
Yeah,
it's in the Hawk. You're like, hey, it's a big job.
It is.
And I know that they're obviously a big football town, and it's always been a thing. And I'm like, I'll get some of these guys out of the weight room. We'll start smashing people around. We'll win some games. We can
football,
beat
basketball.
the crap. And that was always Coach Moscato's way of things, was just out tough people, and it wasn't always the X's and O's. I mean, he was just more of a great motivator. I thought I could do the same. And to be honest with you, I think one of the biggest learning experiences as I was trying to be Coach Moscato too much. I was trying to be this guy with the jacket and getting upset and throwing my thing and barking around, and I had all this piss and vinegar as a young guy, like all up and down the sideline.
It's normal, right? You only know coaching from haven't been coached.
Right.
You haven't developed your own thing
right?
yet. Yeah.
And I remember that guy Murphy, my freshman coach, came up to me one day. He's like, hey, are you trying to be Craig Moscato, or are you trying to be CJ NeEly? Like, what do you want to do in your life?
Who said this to you?
My freshman coach, who actually worked for Coach Moscato. He came to some games. It's like, is that who you are? Or are you just trying to play like an act? And I had to do some reflection. I look back and I'm like, you know what? I'm not really that guy. That's not who I am. I'm much calmer of a person. I'm obviously a competitor, but I'm not I don't need to be this high intensity in your face guy. Some people it works for, that wasn't really my thing. I thought it was, and I learned a lot about myself, and I developed a ton. So the winning wasn't there. And
so your best year, you qualified for the tournament every year, which again,
Sullivan rule, man. Good for that. Let's take that.
Absolutely, right? So we never complain about this Sullivan rule. But your best year is 11-9. So you were doing a lot of growing, right? Definitely. I mean, let's just think about it. You had to be. Everybody knows you now. Yeah. Everybody knows your 21 seasons.
Sure, yeah.
But you were going through
4 and 17.
You were going through 7 years, right? So this ain't today, tomorrow.
No.
You're going through more than half of a decade of figuring out. What'd you learn during that time that you just keep with you forever, that transferred with you forever?
Well, first of all, the relationships with the kids is just like essential, and it's weird. Like the Foxborough guys are still tight with me, even despite the wins and the losses.
I want a couple of those names. I love having names on these
Justin
things.
Zupanik, Alex Pacitti, Brian Ellard,
I love it.
Sealy,
Comes off the tongue
Jeff
so
McPherson.
easily.
I played men's league with some of them. It's just like, that's so special, even though we weren't winning the games. And we're making the tournament, so we're having some fun at the end of the year. We won a couple tournament games. You're playing in the Hockomock, so you're you're ready to
Tough.
go. We're D3 at the time, so we're going from playing Franklin and to going to play Dover Sherborne. And no offense to Dover Sherborne or whatever.
Everybody
just,
understands that. It's,
you know, I mean, it was a different elements. Hopefully, sorry to, Rick.
it's
I didn't mean it that
nothing
way,
to do with
but,
that. It's definitely big towns, small towns. That's all it comes down to. And
right.
West Bridgewater is not going to be Bridgewater Rainham every year. They have great kids over there, and they get some great teams over there for the amount of pool that they get. But and they wanted to play us one year when they knew they were stacked, and they beat us by 2 at the buzzer in one year, and that for them was like
huge.
Storm the court.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We played them the next year, won by 50 because all those kids graduated.
Got to get them back.
It was like we got one more year on this schedule, and then we haven't played them since. But you got to understand what that's all about, and that's sometimes that's the fun. I love the Hawk. I have no problem saying that. I think it's the best league in the state. I don't. There's other ones. I get it.
Yeah.
I think the Hawk though has a lot to offer. It's a shame that BR's not in it. I'm a Taunton guy. I'm from Taunton. Live here right now. We're in Taunton right now.
Yep.
Very happy that they're in it. I think it really helps their school.
Sure.
Kids don't feel the need to leave.
Right.
I hate to say it that way.
Yeah.
I think like Bridgewater Rainham has a hard time sometimes keeping their kids.
Yeah.
CJ, if we had our best 5, we win state.
Yeah, sure. I thought you were going to win it anyway.
No, let's put it this way. The kid from was it Bishop Fian? He's in the Hawk. The big 6'9" kid from Rainham. Winston Legentis over at Tabor from Rainham. All these kids that we got, the Bolin brothers from Rainham.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yep. So pack them on top of what we already running with, you know what I mean? And we really lose them because they think there's a better school option or a better some option out there as well too. We can get into a little bit of that.
That's a whole other.
We can get we'll get into a little bit of that because I think you're a good barometer for that as well too, because you have to deal with it.
Sure.
I think we all have to deal with it. But in the same breath, going back to where we were talking about playing in the Hawk when you're at Foxborough, so you're on the kind of the bottom side of the bigger teams.
So back then it was one league. There was no large, small. So you're playing Franklin twice. You're playing Mansfield twice. And Mansfield was bigger back then. They've since population for whatever reason. But even teams that now have been moved to the small that are not traditionally, powerhouse state-wise. You're looking at Stoughton back then is making sectional finals with, Calixte and Ruffin who went to Drexel. They're putting out some pretty big names. OA was always still.
OA always has been good at basketball.
Force. Sharon had, Fritzen and Mukasa and those guys and Jordan Mello Klein ended up at Bentley.
Yep.
So, loaded teams every night in the Hawk. And it was just, it's hard.
Yeah, it toughens you up, though. You usually win a couple games in the tournament because of that, right? So you're used to playing tough talent, and then you get a softie who gets ranked a little too high.
Yeah, you got to convince your guys that it's a process.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with some losses to.
Yeah, I think at BR we pride ourselves in that we're going to get the toughest schedule possible.
Yeah.
And if we're going to make tournament, I don't care if we're first or, last.
Be ready for
we're just going to have to play everybody anyways, but sometimes it'd be better to go further in the tournament, if you know what I mean, but you should be able to earn it either way. So now flip one more, D. So now we're going to start off to Franklin land. So how do you go from Foxborough to Franklin? How's that transition happen?
Crazy that it happened. I had interviewed at Framingham State for their job. I had got an interview to be the coach there, and it just didn't work out. It didn't go my way, which fine. And based on that record, I don't know if I would have hired me either, but I just thought.
So there was still a little bit of the college bug.
There was a little bit, yeah. I kind of started to get into it and say, you know what, like I want to go to a place where I can start recruiting some more guys, maybe get some, nothing against the Foxborough guys, we get some more guys that were basketball only people,
Of course,
And so that's the one thing I think in Foxborough that we dealt with a lot more than I do at Franklin is just, these guys have to play every sport in Foxborough. If you're a school of that size, it's like you're the football team's main guy, you're the basketball team's main guy, you're the baseball team's main guy. And everybody wants you doing their thing all the time.
All the time.
Those kids are getting pulled in a lot of directions.
That's hard. That's tough. That's tough when you think of it that way. We got some guys that do that, but we got our basketball core.
Yeah.
I'm sure Franklin does too.
Definitely.
Your basketball core. And you have to have that.
That's what happened. That was the difference, and that was the thing. It was D1, and I wanted to kind of, with the Franklin thing, I wanted to challenge at the next level. I wanted the responsibility of, being that team that had the bigger school.
So was
and-
the job open? You applied? What happened here?
So Dean O'Connor, unfortunately, got let go, and the position was available. And I figured, you know what, I'll throw my head in. It's a great job, and a lot of talked to a lot of friends. It was still hard. I mean, lots of tears shed to leave the Foxborough guys. That was one of the hardest conversations I've had to have, was telling them I'm not only leaving, I'm going in league to another school, and I'm still going to be your phys ed teacher. That
Ooh,
was
yeah.
interesting. It was an
Yeah.
interesting year. But, I thought Franklin was a really great opportunity to win at a high level, and I wanted an opportunity to see what I was made of kind of at that higher clip.
Yeah, I mean, I look on this and I laugh. I'm like, these are things that we want to aspire to. And it's tough. It's so hard to look at all that and one page of paper and the time that you spent there. But you had a year one.
Yeah.
So you walk into Franklin.
Oh man,
What's
ton of pressure. Because when Dean got let go, the town wasn't clamoring for him to get let go. There was a lot of kids and had a lot of great relationships that are going to be in the captains of my first team are kind of loyalists to the other guy,
yeah.
and you have a lot of pressure. I mean, like you said, I'm 60 and 81 at Foxborough. Who's this guy? Why do we want to buy into his system? And there was a lot of pressure. And again, I just kind of went back to that, got to be yourself. You can't try to be somebody different. I think
so. If you were finally your own coaching style. What was that? What do you think your coaching style was coming to Franklin?
Coming in, I think the difference for me, I've always been highly focused on defense. It's always been a huge factor in my whole life. That's just been what I'm about. I think it's something that is so controllable for everybody. It's the best place that I can make the most impact as a coach, I think. I think offensively, there is a limit to your talent and what guys can put the ball in the basket and you can run the best plays in the world, get wide open looks, and you got to have the guys that can make them. Or, sometimes you just need guys to make shots that you had no plan of. I mean, Caden Sullivan proved that several times. He's just a guy that it's nice to have Caden. Makes you look good. I'm not going to sit here and say that I made Caden Sullivan.
Yeah. And I hope you're at least subscribed to this podcast. It's the third episode that your name has been brought up in this. And
He's the man. I love him.
No, I got a ton of respect for him.
Yeah.
As the other two episodes, you hope to have a kid like that.
He's the best. And
when we played you, he decided the game was over in the second half. He literally did. And then everybody else said, "Oh, I think I want to act like Caden now." And then you guys kind of put the can of whoop ass on us for the second half. So
he did that all year. It's just, it was like the whole season was.
And he's unassuming. He's not like
he's
6'7",
like 5'11",
right?
It feels like
he's
6'3".
unassuming, and he throws his body into, like, there's a lot of videos where they show you get that little bump. No, he's all about that. Like, bring the physicality, bring
Fearless.
the mentality. Yeah.
Totally fearless.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing about.
Well, I had Bo Botello in there. He's your golf coach. He's a Taunton guy. He's a friend of mine. And
he's my golf coach.
He's a great guy. I love Bo. And he was just saying his mental fortitude is why he's a golfer. Like,
oh yeah, as a golfer. That's right.
He's just a golfer. He's not as talented, but he is mentally tougher than all my players. So
he can pick up anything.
Yeah.
He's just that guy that you can't stand, because if you were playing darts, if you were doing, I'm sure he's nasty at cornhole. It's just like whatever he does, he just finds a way. And it's nice to have guys like that.
Yeah. So explain to me, now that you brought it up. Sorry, I got to get into that noggin of yours a little bit here. What is coaching defense? I think a lot of people say it. A lot of people want to do it. Flip a slide for a second, because you think I didn't notice, but defensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? Defensive player of the year, defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was bringing this up anyways. It's obvious playing against you, CJ. Now I want a little bit of what is it?
I mean, I think if Lanigan's listening, there's at least 3 or 4 names that should be up there that he just totally dropped the ball on, and should have had at least 3 or 4 more guys on Franklin with defensive player of the year. But so Ryan, if you're listening, you blew it. But, but no.
And I was going to get to this slide about kids you coach. These are the ones that are
what a slide you got here. This is incredible. Looking at some of these guys. These are like
some
of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah, I can imagine. When you get a defensive player of the year, that's my guy. That's
Yeah,
my guy as a coach.
definitely.
Like, you can be the offensive player of the year. Good for you. You're talented. I know
Right,
that. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody knows that, and you're getting all that love.
Absolutely.
But nobody gives a defensive love.
No.
You know, it's the players that know. It's
Yeah.
the coaches that know. It's
Yep.
if you get awarded that, you've made other coaches notice.
Yep.
But when I see this, I said to myself, good for them, but this is coaching.
Well, I don't know about
No, it is. So I need to know what is your philosophy on the defense?
On defense. Honestly, I'm highly game plan motivated. I mean, we're definitely a man-to-man team, and you know that. We're not messing around with zone pretty much ever. We'll throw an occasional like 3-quarter court 1-2-2 late in the game. We're up 10
At half, you'll jump somebody when they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
I've seen
you
it.
know, a little trap here or there, but we're basically fit. Maybe as I was leaving Foxborough too, I said, if you're gonna win and beat the best teams, you have to be an unbelievable man-to-man team. I just think zones are gimmicky. I think they can beat a good team. A team that's not as good as you can beat you on a given night with zone, but I don't think you're going to win a state championship being a zone team. It's just my personal philosophy. I think at the end of the day, you're going to run into a team that's going to blow you out. They're going to hit some shots, and that's going to be the end of it. So I said, listen, we have to be able to shut down really good teams at a high level. And, listening to guys like Belichick talk on the radio about how they take out the other team's best player, and they're just not going to score. We're taking you out. To be honest with you, no shot at anybody. I don't know how Caden Sullivan is allowed to touch the ball. Caden and I joke all the time, you're not scoring against us. If we're playing you, you're going to have the worst night of your life.
You can try.
You're gonna cry.
You don't think we didn't know that?
I know.
You can try with certain players.
It's true.
And I'll say that you could tell the difference between junior and senior year, and he was really good junior year.
Yeah.
But there was a big difference, and you can see that. And I don't want to talk about my team too much, but my team last year losing like we did. Yeah, basically we're and thinking about my team this year, how they're acting because of last year, and we got a strong core, but we're going to be led by Kaysen Falk.
Yeah.
We're going to be led by him. And he's going to be kids in the gym 5 days a week. He's got a basketball in his hand every single day. Nothing else matters.
Beast.
And he's going to be tough. He's going to be a lot tougher than his sophomore year or last year as his junior year.
Watching him play at Attleboro was just an unbelievable one-man performance.
He wasn't even shooting the ball. He didn't even want
offensive rebounding.
You were talking about yourself not wanting to. You didn't shoot many threes enough.
Yeah.
Kaysen, I don't think he attempted one line.
Yeah.
And he can shoot.
Yeah.
And this year we're like, Kaysen,
open it up, man.
Everybody has to just think about you, and everybody else will be better for it. And
Yeah.
I think that's what Caden did for your team.
No question.
He opened up those other two guys, and I'm not gonna. Probably their names are up here. Right? Yeah, Jake is one of them. Those other guys were good. Don't get me wrong. You have to have other good players. But, man, they only got better as Caden decided it was time, right? What a fun way to watch somebody go out.
Yeah, I mean, Caden matured a ton. We had a lot of conversations through the year, too. It wasn't just this, epiphany or whatnot. He had some moments where we had to bring him in and be like, look, man, you're not going to save the season by yourself. It's just not going to happen. You can't win a game with one guy and that's it. I mean, it looks like it plays that way, but so many little plays made by so many other guys all year are just Caden's trusting them. They have to know that you believe in them more than I believe in them is really what it came down to. We talked about that all the time is Wyatt Herndon makes 2 huge threes to beat Attleboro. And it's
huge.
That doesn't happen if he doesn't believe that his teammates love him and believe in him. And Joe Conlon and Zach Allen, you go Seth O'Donnell, the guy doesn't even score. He's just they are so tight. They trust Caden. They know he's the man. It's fine. No one has any jealousy of him being that guy. And, Jake was a good second option for us as far as scoring was. He'd have his nights, but he had nights he'd scored 4 or 5 points, but he's out there locking people up defensively.
So that's I'm glad you said defensively again. I want to go back to that.
Sure.
How do you teach man, or how do you get them to buy into man? Man isn't something you can't just say I'm going to lock down Michael Jordan man to man. So
sure.
How are you getting these guys to play above? Because most of the time I thought your guys just play defense above a level of their own body. Does that make sense to you?
Wow, that's awesome to hear. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I look out there and go, there's no one out here that myself, I'm not physically intimidated by anybody. How are they locking people?
we're
down?
never gonna win any sort of airport challenge of like a team that you think is gonna be like, that's Frank. This is.
Off the bus
I
challenge.
mean, I didn't convince me all
we call
year.
them
I'm
off
like,
the bus.
we're
yeah.
not that good. Like
Yeah.
I'd say all year, but so much. Honestly, a ton goes into it. Obviously, that just the kids' effort and what they bring every day and their willingness to be coached and focus. Everybody watches film. I would tell you that if you have a game before us, we've tracked every single shot that every single player's taken for the entire season, and we know exactly where you're gonna go, and we're not letting you get there. So we have colors where it's like red, yellows, greens, and blacks. Where there's a guy that's just absolutely, it's like Tegan Swint, and from Newton North is a black. Like he's not touching the ball at any point in the game. Now, he still had some baskets, and he's a stud. And we always say, like, if they're going to make these shots, we're going to put them in these positions. You're going to shake their hand and say, great game, man, at the end of the night. If they're that good. Like you said, Michael Jordan, you can have whatever plan you want for him.
Mike Tyson, you can always have a plan until you get punched in the
Right.
face. I mean,
Yeah.
So
I
so
don't-
somebody's going off on you.
Yeah.
Somebody is getting the better of you.
Yeah.
Man to man.
Sure.
What are you doing? Running, jumping, doubling,
Probably doubling.
pushing
probably
to
doubling.
help.
So I mean, it's my philosophy that guys just can't go to their weak hands still. It's sad, but it's
True.
I used to be a sideline baseline guy where it's like, hey, force everything to the sideline. We know where the help can come from. It's a little more natural to, get your guy under the hoop, rotate out of the basket line, get to that spot, escape the paint, drop a guy in. And Mansfield's like kind of like the picture of that in our league. I always watch them, and Mike's been always into no middle ever letting anybody get in there. And it works really well. And they're another unbelievable defensive team. So I'm not saying one way is right or the other, but my philosophy has always been that if you can't go left and score, first of all, or you can, but your percentages are much lower, first of all, then you also can't pass as well going that way. You're also more likely to put it off your foot a little bit on a dribble. You're almost more likely to travel a little bit. So it's just like little plays throughout the game. I think that when guys go to their right hand, I mean, we could force you right hand baseline, but like you're going to make a better decision going to your right hand. You're going to make that bounce pass to the guy, and my rotation might be a little late on the backside. You're going to see that. And to me, it's like they can't throw the ball as well. It's just the reality of
It's
it.
true.
Even in college, you watch college guys that can't do it. I mean, not at the highest levels, but
Well, the guys that can do it in high school, maybe one or two on the floor.
right. And those are the guys we're blacking out.
And
It's like
exactly. And those are the guys you put your better defenders on,
Sure.
and they should still have a hard time. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I hear
we've
that.
developed like these guys on the wall here. They're all, some of them have been our best players, but usually the defensive player of the year guys are our second or third best players on the team.
No doubt. That's
You know.
awesome. I mean, that's
They're highly motivated, and they have that role, and they can't wait to see like, who's my guy? Like, who am I getting? And I could go to scouting and be like, all right, Mahan's getting like a Paul Mahan up there. I mean, that's like a blast from the past. That guy's like back-to-back captain, like an incredible human. Coaching in Florida right now. And,
is he
yeah, he's coaching basketball in Florida, phys ed teacher. He's like,
nice?
he's the man. I love that kid to death. But, all these guys should go to games and be like, all right, we'll start our whole defensive game plan with Mahan's going to take care of this, right? He's good. Now the rest of us, let's talk about how we're going to shut down the other guys. Then you get into knowing every single play call that everyone's going to run. There's not a play. If there's a play called by the other coach in the game and we don't know it, that's completely unacceptable. And there's been some awkward moments where like it's baseline out of bounds. You're looking at the other coach. He's looking at you. It's like, who's going to break
Well,
first?
listen, it's if you're playing you and you ain't changing shit up, or you ain't running, you can
gotta
call the
disguise
same
it.
play. You could, if you ain't doing it, then you ain't. And it took us, I'll be honest, took us a couple of years to finally get better at that. You know what I mean? So we kind of let you know some of our plays, and they're not our. It's like everything else.
It's good.
That's
It's like a mind game, right?
Yeah, it's
but
a
so
total
many people don't play it.
and I love what's your assistant coach Doherty.
Already
I love that kid.
call him the worm. It's the worm.
He
He's over
is
there,
he is over there. He must watch film when he wakes up in the morning until he goes to bed at night.
He's on it,
I
and the
mean-
breakdowns for Huddle are crazy. So we're
Yeah.
watching film probably a half hour before every game with the kids right off. We're showing all the stuff. We're going over your stuff the day before. you're not going to score on your best stuff is my thing.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you make plays, like you make plays, so we're going to lose.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, it's like open basketball. I hate to say it on offense, but
Sure.
if you're going against the best, you better not just think you're going to run your XYZ play. And
Right.
that's AAU. God bless them.
Right.
You're seeing a different team every week, and you're only playing 1 hour games, and nobody's watching film.
Right.
You can run whatever you want.
Exactly.
You're going to look good. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that's why I only respect the coaches who don't run anything.
Yeah.
Who aren't running traps or what. Just go
do
play
something,
man.
right? Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be you want to have a good record in AAU, you can bring a trap to every game.
Mhm.
They're not ready for it. They don't play together. They're not
true.
ready for it.
It's
They have
true.
no film.
Right. They have no idea it's coming.
They don't even know there's no coach looking at them even going to break it down.
Right.
It was a 1-2-2. Get it?
Right.
Nobody's the
It's
coaches
crazy.
on the sidelines usually aren't even.
Well, then there's some, most of the time it's a dad or it's somebody who's like, God bless him, like a nice person. And I do
Exactly.
a lot of AAU coaching now, and you can, it's not that you want to take advantage of people, but it's a different game when you've lived the coaching life.
We have, you give away goods. We work on defense every day in practice. You work on defense every day in practice. Is there, go-to drills that you go to? Is there a go-to coach that you look to try to find plays? I love Izzo at, Michigan State. I think he offers a lot.
You mean set offensive stuff?
No, defense.
Defense.
I'm only talking defense. You know
That's
what I mean?
actually funny you say, like, I don't know if you were going this way, but my brother brought up a couple years ago, like defensive set plays. Like we always talk about offensive set plays, but like having a play, like you'll run, toss once a game or twice a game, maybe you score on a pick and roll, maybe whatever, and you have no problem calling that 3 times a game. That's it. Like, why don't you have a problem with dropping? Like, we never run zone, but hey, you know what? Like, one possession of a 1-3-1 when you come out of a timeout, or one time where we're on a free throw, we can just mess you up, steal the possession. Like little things like that, they add up, and so my brother's a volleyball coach, but he always gives me like weird insights.
See, my thing is I've played a lot of sports, as I mentioned to you. Playing college football, hockey's playing 20 years of hockey. Hockey and basketball, a lot alike. Just a lot of weaves, a lot of free motion, but you can stick plays in there.
Yeah.
Like, you can stick, in hockey, a face-off play, which is no different than just having your point guard at the top.
Sure.
You can run a play. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of, you can run plays, but on defense, it's usually not play. It's a philosophy to some degree.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and your philosophy is man-to-man.
Definitely.
And I don't know if ours is exactly man-to-man all the time.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, no teams mentioned, but we play some dumb teams. So, and I just feel like they just get trapped and harassed and it's over.
Oh, your trap is a problem.
So,
Tough to
yeah,
deal with.
but it's like, we know it's not going to work against you guys, Mansfield. We're usually ready to just, let's go, man-to-man. Who's showing up and doing what?
A lot of your films, I mean, I'm watching your film, and you guys made some big plays off the trap.
Yeah.
Your trap was tough. It was tough to deal with.
It is, but when you got a guy who's watching film and can go to practice,
Sure.
and you have a better team in the tournament,
Sure.
you're not going to win on those things. And it's kind of like, you got to know that, but then is it shame on us for not always just doing man-to-man? So we're always just that much better at that.
I just think the man is like the foundation of the house. You can still have the cool stuff too. That's why we have
the cars in the garage.
Yeah, we got some fun things, but at the end of the day, can you get those stuff?
I love that. I think that's like Darius, like right here is like the quote. I love that. It's the foundation of the house. It's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how strong your foundation is, right?
But the traps are good. You need to run sometimes, and you can surprise people. So.
See, this is where I'm glad. If you were still coaching him, like, he wants me to still run the traps.
Oh,
so he could.
But now I'm not baiting you. I'm not
He
baiting
could
you.
bait us there. Yeah, I know. But now that you're not, I'm like, that's interesting that you say that. Yeah. I saw, like with Izzo, they have a trap that they run until there's 14 seconds on the shot clock, and then they go back to man automatically. So you get a team that's, he's like in depth like that to do stuff. So I like watching guys like that who have different things.
Like
that
Mike Vaughn will always trap you in like the last possession.
Always.
Like it's every time.
It
shot
is.
clock's running down.
Yes.
You're getting
Boom.
trapped. So
First possession of the half coming out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you're not paying attention, you're dribbling. You got the ball, you're dribbling, you're getting trapped.
They're just gonna run at you. And occasionally you'll beat them, but more often than not, you're throwing it in the crowd, or he's getting a layup late in their possession. And
he's I have a lot of respect for that man.
Definitely.
I mean, he just has such a great program over there. They all bought.
question.
the coaches buy in, the players buy in. You can substitute whoever you want, and they're going to still win 15 games.
We call it the machine in Franklin.
Yeah.
You know, when we play
Plug and
Mansfield,
play. That's what we call them.
We always say when we lead into the Mansfield game, it's like they're doing their Mansfield thing no matter what, and they have obviously adjustments. Don't get me wrong, but there's that motion offense that he's running that's just everybody's on board with it, and you got to get in there and you got to break it up, like throw the monkey wrench in the system. And you know, there's games where we get called for every foul, and we usually lose those games.
Yeah.
But if we let us play a little bit, we can
Same
be
here.
physical with Mansfield. I think you know we find ourselves in some good spots in those scenarios. So.
No, I love it. I love the fact that you guys have for sure been the class, you and Mansfield, the class of the Hawk, the class of the South Shore. What is it when you get into the tournament and you haven't seen a team, and maybe you haven't?
I love it. I love playing teams we haven't played before. It's like refreshing. You know, these coaches in the Hawk, we know each other so well. Like I could tell you right off the top of my head, you know, Attleboro's playbook or Mansfield, just like the calls and the things, and we're always trying to trick each other and find ways. But you can it's refreshing to be able to like call a play. You know, go into a game.
Yeah.
We're gonna run this, and they've only seen you once on film or twice, or they were unable to get your stuff because you're telling the cable company to pull all your films offline so no one can see it. Or it can be refreshing to play teams you haven't played. It's also fun. I love it. I honestly like. There's times where you're like you get in the tournament. I think it stinks when teams have to play their own league in that first game. Or
Terrible.
It's like. Come on, man. The whole point of the state tournament is to like spread
go
your
see
wings and
someone.
go see what's going on out there.
Yeah.
And you go like Attleboro Mansfield, first round. It's like they've already played twice. You know, like we've seen this game. Let's play another one.
Fortunately for other people, you're glad to see that matchup.
Yeah.
It's like get rid of one of them. Get rid of one of those dogs in the fight. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I get that completely. What's you remember like your first tournament win? What was your
Foxborough at Rockland? Down big, had to throw on some diamond pressure. Actually played some zone in that game. 2-3 zone back in the day, first year. Had to settle them down. We went a little 2-3 to settle the tide, and then had a huge run at the end of the game and diamond pressure and won at Rockland. It was sick.
At Rockland?
At Rockland. It was sick. The dog pound.
Small.
Right. Tiny bit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Packed.
Awesome. You know.
Loud.
Awesome. And pulling that out was really, really cool. I'll never forget that game. We had like Ali Mortada's our captain, and Francisco Alicea. These guys were like, you know, they're having children now. They're in their 30s, and it's just.
See, now you know I have this podcast. We get to smile for a minute, right?
Man.
It's like we don't have to worry about it's just to have a minute where you get to look back on all these years, all these tears, you know. So that was your first good moment. So the next question will be, what was your first tears? What was the first?
Losing the next game, honestly, in that team, the first time, that was the most I've probably.
Yeah, but did you expect to win that next game? Like, what was the first expected win you lost?
Tough.
And then you were like, what the? I could have done better. I could have done this. We should have.
That's a tough one.
Anything hit you in
the
the head?
St. John's Shrewsbury first game at Franklin, the year after they had lost to St. John's, we're in the semifinal, and we had the game. We were playing great the whole time. We just lost it in the last couple of minutes, and it was just like the whole. You know, no one thinks we're going to beat St. John's Shrewsbury back then. They're the big dog in the Central, and everyone hates Franklin in the Central because they switched us into that bracket. So we're like hated by the crowd, and you feel like the whole Central Mass is against you when you're over there. And I thought we were right there to win that game, and we lost to them. Unfortunately, we lost them a few times, so that was really losing those games was tough.
Kind of hit you right at the top of the noggin, right?
Yeah, it stinks.
Yeah, it sucks to say that it's probably Franklin that's bothering us the most lately. It's our get over their hump game. We will. We'll figure it out somehow.
Yeah.
But you're go back a slide for me, D, if you don't mind. Darius, get a check in on camera 4 for me, will you? How you doing over there? Are you still alive? What are you doing? How we doing? Everything running smoothly over there right now?
Things good.
We got everything came in that needed to. We got anything I need. Cool.
Does the audience know that we're sitting on like the shores here?
The lake.
The lake is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, can you see out there and see?
I got it out the window.
Sunset.
I got a beautiful view of the sunset out the window. I'm gonna be staying longer than
nobody
you
knows. Taunton's got some real beautiful sides to it. They all,
beautiful.
Anybody who's not from here. 4 trips to the Division State championship game.
Yeah.
2017, 18, and 24 didn't go the way you wanted to.
No.
You got dressed up to the ball and
Man. I didn't know. Honestly, the first one, I couldn't even believe we were in the state finals. Like, as a kid growing up and wanting to be in there so bad, and as a coach, I remember going to games and watching, like, oh man, it'd be great to coach at UMass Boston, like a sectional final. How cool would that be, you know? And that's the year we finally get past St. John Shrewsbury on like an epic game, just an incredible game at Worcester State, which is such a cool venue for
it's
for
awesome.
that level.
Really
it's like
good.
the perfect high
Perfect.
school size, you know?
Yeah. It's a little
You
bit
play some
bigger,
of these
a little
games-
bit bigger, but
Well, you play in
packed.
like the DCU after that, and it's like you're in, you know, a hollow hallway with
Yeah.
no, you can't hear your
Yeah,
fans. They're
it's-
so far, they're all the
Yeah,
way over
yeah.
here. You know, this is like they're on top of you. You know, and to win that, so to get there was it was one of those classic like. I mean, to beat Cambridge in that game was going to be pretty much impossible. It was going to have to take
they
the
were good.
perfect game.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
I remember that
ridiculous.
team, Cambridge.
So we
They won what, back to back?
back to back.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you run into them the next year?
No, that was I don't like talking about
18?
I don't like talking.
So now
about
wait a
18.
minute though. So 17 is kind of like you're glad to be at the ball.
Happy to be there.
You know what I mean? You lost to a better team.
Definitely, no question. I
So
don't look at that.
so you
as-
can kind of say, hey, we had a good year.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
was there a lot of kids returning? Is that
yeah,
the
good
17,
amount, a
18
good
theory
amount.
going
We
on?
lost a couple good seniors that year, but you know, I mean, Edge Hill, you know, our all-time leading scorer was a freshman in 17. Samuels is a sophomore. Mahan.
He was Edger was a freshman on that 17 team. He was
Yeah.
playing in the.
Are you aware of what happened in the semifinals?
No,
to
I'm
make-
not.
Oh my god!
Not.
So we're down 8 with I think 18.4 seconds left to Springfield Central.
Shut
Win
the
game.
front door.
Yeah. You gotta watch. It's on YouTube. You should
I
check
gotta
it out.
watch
It's
it.
incredible. This game. It's like I don't know how it even happens. You know, we're down. They're at the free throw line. They hit 2 free throws to go up 8. We run a quick sideline break. Boom, boom, up sideline. Edge Hill buries a 3. Right.
5.
They come out.
So 18. So now what?
Now it's
15.
5. So obviously, you know, we're pressing.
15 seconds after he shits the
Yeah, it was
basket?
quick. It was
Okay.
just boom, boom,
Yeah,
up
yeah.
sideline, right? So then they step on the line, I think, to inbound the ball.
We get it right
So
back.
we get it back. Now we run a based on out of bounds play. They foul Edge Hill.
2
No time
points.
off the clock.
2 points.
Hit
15
freshman,
seconds down 3.
Buries 2. Freshman, there's like a delay for 2 minutes, and he steps up, hits both.
Wow.
Then we're
You
pressing.
sitting there on the sideline like, please, Lord.
Right, this is great. I'm
Let
like,
my
I can't
freshman.
believe it. It was like I was using the Edelman quote in the huddle of like, it's going to be a hell of a story. I just kept saying it to the guys because the Patriots had just had that moment, you know, and so I kept saying it to them, like, just whatever. Like, if we pull this off, this is ridiculous. So he hits both free throws, 3-point game. Now we pressure them, double tap out of bounds, our ball. Like
Down 3.
all this and still like 15 seconds, like 12, whatever,
So
13
now 12
seconds.
seconds.
So we run a play, and it was a counter to this play we had already run to get Edge Hill the ball the first time. You know, I don't know if I feel bad, but this kid on the other team's looking at me, and I look at one of our guys, like, hey, the slip's going to be wide open. The slip's going to be wide open, right? We need 3. We don't need 3, but I'm like, kid gives me a look in the face like, yeah, right, it is. I got that. And I'm totally baiting this kid to take away the slip so Edge Hill can sneak in.
Yeah.
He hits a 3 in the corner, ties the game. They inbound. It
Damn,
goes
he had all 8
all 8, right?
God, did
As a
he-
freshman.
as a freshman.
They inbound the ball, go the length of the court, hit a shot at the buzzer, and they storm the court. They won the game.
Oh.
They are rolling around, celebrating.
Oh.
Bruce Anderson, you know Bruce Anderson?
Yeah.
Waves it off. No basket.
Because it was
It was after the clock. It was a late shot, right? So it was a late shot.
oh.
Waves it off. I mean, I tell Bruce this if he was here. I'm like, it takes a man like Bruce Anderson to make that
Yeah, it
call.
does.
Like, he is a long-time official.
Oh, yeah.
You need to have that, like, bravado of a ref to want that call.
Oh, yeah.
You
You
know?
do.
So he makes the call. Obviously, everyone goes crazy.
I believe the call, though.
it was,
You know
so
what I
they
mean?
had it.
Fouls, I'll tell you what, fouls, even with him sometimes,
Yeah.
like, nah,
Hey.
depending on the day.
Sure.
But that kind of stuff, I believe he saw what he saw and called it. That's all.
The beauty is the video on YouTube. They show the replay and they pause it. And the kid poor kid's announcing the game. They have like highlights of him, but they went back and like edited. So they went back and edited to show you that the ball's still in his hand, right? But the kid doesn't know. So like the play's still running. The kid's like, this is ridiculous, screaming. But like the
Well, it's
evidence is
still
right
there.
there. So the poor announcer kid is announced in the game that gets,
Annihilated.
bad rap there. But it was the right call. and then we end up winning in overtime, which
Wow.
is crazy. You know, so that's
fun. That was
another happy
17.
to
So
be
that's
that
17 as a freshman.
right.
Well, Edgehill goes back in 18.
Yeah, and then we go the whole year. Springfield Central, who we had beat, goes undefeated all the way back, and it's Franklin Springfield Central again in the semifinal, the team that we just won in that ridiculous situation. And then we just, you know, pretty much everyone thought we were going to lose that game. We had one of the best games of our life. Everything's going. Threes are hitting everywhere. And we gave them a pretty good win. They gave a pretty good win on that one. And then we played Mansfield in the championship.
That was tough. Is that the year that Mansfield was getting followed around with a camera?
Tough. I think it was.
Yeah. He had the whole thing on film.
That was a tough loss. That was a tough loss. I won't lie. Your biggest rivals.
Yeah.
That was a tough one to swallow.
Yeah. Was that one? That was a 6-7 point game. It wasn't
I think
close.
it ended up being 10 or 12. Even.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was a good game for a while. We just weren't. So that's a regret game looking back. I just feel like we just weren't ready to win that game. And Mike does such a good job. It's like you don't want to play someone that prepared in that moment, but of course it's the state finals and they were ready and we didn't play well and good for them. They beat us. It was definitely, and I look back and think of like a couple defensive adjustments. Like I put Paul, our defensive player of the year, on a guy. Probably should have put him on somebody else. And
that beats you up all the
that's
time.
when you start.
We all do that.
And you start thinking like, wait, we may not be back here. Like this is hard to get here. This isn't like, I can't believe we went 2 years in a row. Now it's like, but I'll be honest.
And then here comes 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Well, 20, we make the sectional final and we lose to St. John's on a, you know, what I would call a questionable, unacceptable foul call that gave this kid TJ Power, went to Duke, 2 free throws. He hits them both. We come down, throw a half-court shot up at the buzzer. And not basically at the buzzer. Once kid Declan Wamsley, Brian Wamsley's son, the Wheaton coach, follows it. It falls right in his hand at the rim in a 1-point game and he just misses the tip. And poor Declan, my God, the kid had a great game and it's just like, he makes that shot. It's a buzzer-beating win, and it's like those are the ones that go back. And he's, you know, he's the man. I love that kid. I feel so bad for him. It's like,
I don't. You know what I always say to my kids after that? You're gonna look at that one shot and tell me that's the difference maker in a game, guys.
Exactly.
Let's not do that. He should have made that shot, and you should have stopped that guy, and you should have done this.
It, you know what I mean? He's
everybody's
like trying to
rushing
get it up there.
Yeah.
He's like,
trust me, everybody's rushing.
The fact that he was still
stuff.
playing it to that.
We had that happen with Mansfield. You know, one year at our place. It was like 6 seconds left, right? Our guy takes 2 dribbles, chucks it up.
That was that last year?
No, it was
2
some years ago. It might even been like COVID. I think they had masks on, for Christ's sakes. But then one of our kids is on the other side of the rim, catches it off the glass in. It was clearly well before the buzzer went off, but like I think he was mad that they didn't start the clock in time, so that's why there was the time. You know what I mean? It was. I love him, man. He don't like losing.
Oh no.
He's another guy.
No.
I don't know him as well, but I'm sure he's
competitive.
Super competitive guy.
Super
competitive. So yeah, I appreciate that about guys though that have that edge to them. So
we actually talk all the time. We have like a saying in Franklin that offensive rebounds will kill you, and it's like. It seems to me like so many game winners are the offensive rebound because everyone sees that shot go up and everyone just like watches it like, oh, is it going to go in? Are we going to win? Are we going to lose? And one guy decides like, I'm still playing basketball and sneaks in and gets the tip in.
We talk about Kaysen's putback that was top 10 play.
Exactly.
He just doesn't quit. And then he had the Attleboro one as well too. You don't quit. That's all.
These are the
it's a mentality though. It is. And it's very hard to teach. So speaking of that,
sure.
How do you add an edge to your kids to develop that mentality?
I don't know. It's a really good question. We talk about championship details. That's like a big thing for me is like, we're always going to like, so when you get to the Franklin level, it's like, you're always going to have like a quote good season. Like no one's ever going to look at your record at the end of the year and be like, man, those guys sucked or whatever. Like you go 15-7 or you could go 14 and whatever, you know. No one's ever going to read that in the paper and say you had a horrible year. But I'm like, if you guys really want to go to that epic point of being the best, you know, you have to take care of all of the stuff that no one's watching, like the putbacks, the box outs, the diving on the floor. And I remember going to a Babson practice and Steve Brennan was saying, like, you don't get to decide when the most important play of the game is. You know, it could be the first play of the game that someone dove on a loose ball and saved it and you guys got a layup or somebody took a charge or who knows, you know, it could be in the first quarter, but so that's a big thing we talk about all the time is that those championship details. And, you know, it's just not accepted if you're not going to work hard either. Like if you're not going to play hard, you're just not going to play. Franklin, I mean, most places, but
It's true.
It's just a mentality.
It's true. But how do you decide who's playing hard enough? I mean, you could have the most talented kid, but you still know they're not playing hard. So how do you know that? And so you got a really talented kid who's not really, I guess, bought in yet.
Sure.
What are you going to do about that situation?
We're going to bring him in. He's going to watch himself on film. He's going to have to answer for his actions. You know, I'm a big fan of the film doesn't lie. You know, you can tell me you thought you were working hard and we'll just watch it together. And I'll just like comments, thoughts,
prayers,
you know, right?
prayers.
What do you think, bud? Is that good effort? You know, and a lot of it's mental too. Like the amount of scouting that we do and knowing the stuff and the films that we watch, it's like, there's really no excuse to be unprepared and not know the scouting report. If you're not willing to put the time in, you know, we have a joke that we called, I started calling it this like maybe 5 years ago. I'm like, when you play basketball here, it's AP basketball. So back to our AP conversation of like, this is not college level, like, you know, go to your class, get your homework done. Everything's going to be fine. Go to practice, whatever. Like this is AP. Like you're coming in on the weekends, you're doing extra lifting, you're going to film sessions. These are the things that it takes to be different.
Yeah.
You know, and it just becomes like
that's why you got to have a core though. You can't have a guy that's and I love it, but at some point it's like it's really hard to have that 3-sport athlete anymore.
Sure.
It's really hard. There's different training for all of them, you know, and I have 4 kids and they all play different sports.
Yeah.
They're all unique in how you train for them. They really are. A lacrosse player is different than a football player, different than a basketball player, different than a golfer, different than any other sport you play.
It's like the Foxborough thing you were saying. Like those kids would come off the football field. 2 days ago, they were playing Mansfield and Thanksgiving, or 3 days ago, you know, and the throw ups at Foxborough at tryouts were a lot bigger than the ones at Franklin. You know, like,
oh yeah,
you know,
yeah,
because the Franklin guy's been playing 5 a.m. and
BR is more of a it's not record wise lately, but it's been a football school for a long time.
Foxborough.
No, BR.
Oh, BR, yeah.
It's been a football school for a long time. Dan Bjorn, who will be on, by the way. Dan Bjorn should be on the show in the next couple of weeks as well, too. Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's Ian Bain.
He's one of the old school guys, though. He's one of those guys who kick in the ass and, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like that as a ref.
He's lucky he didn't get asked to leave, so to speak, him, but he's very well respected and a great coach, too. But, you know, Doug's done a lot to bring, you know, Larry Fisher, great coach and all that stuff.
Sure.
But there wasn't a sense of anything when we got there. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we're picking up something good or bad. It was just kind of, Larry was there for like 40 years. But
so many, right? Yeah.
There wasn't really, you know,
BR teams we used to play were incredible back with the Quimbies. And,
God, talent-wise, but nobody went anywhere.
Oh, my God.
Like when everybody stayed at BR, they were always loaded.
Yeah.
They were always loaded.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like
2 Quimbies, my God.
The Bowens didn't leave Rainham. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You don't leave.
You know, they didn't leave back then. They didn't want to go to Coyle. They didn't want to go to Fian. They didn't want to go to Tabor. Like those were not places you had to go to. When I was a kid, that was not even heard of.
No.
For me, you went to Taunton was interesting because we had Coyle and BP and, you know, but BR, you went to BR. Like, and that's, you know, I think a little bit different when it comes to the talent pool.
Yeah.
But let's go almost full circle now. Family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family. What you got?
I got a daughter. She's 14. She's an 8th grader. And I got a son who's 11, 5th grader. Coaching them both right now. One of the reasons to give this thing up is them. You know, they're getting serious. My daughter's getting very serious with basketball. My son is also, but it's as serious as you can get for a 5th grader, I guess. But you know, I'm coaching them in AAU right now and trying to do things the way I do them at Franklin with the AAU teams. It's harder with, you know, 2 days a week practices and things like that.
What AAU program are you
So it's called Take Charge. So
cool.
Myself and Foxborough coach John Gibbs, we started it when I left Foxborough to go to Franklin, and he took the Foxborough job. We're like, hey man, we're going to be running camps together. We're going to be doing all this stuff together. Let's just put everything in one pile here and try to work and do things what we think is the right way as far as teaching the game. And, you know, we're not huge right now. I think we have 12 teams right now. We've been up to as many as 18 at a time, but I just think we hired good coaches that we respect. So your kid's going to get a good product.
No parents?
You know, depends. Like Caden's dad coached for us. I mean, the guy's all-time leading scorer at Wheaton, so I'm comfortable allowing that type of
you have to be. You really have to be.
And at the younger ages, sometimes
It's not, yeah, the younger ages,
You know.
exactly. Do you coach your son's team,
So I
highest team, both teams?
I coach my daughter's team, which is our. So we played 10th grade this weekend as 8th graders, which was an experience for them. And then I coached John's son, John Gibbs' son, Tyler, and my son Jameson are both 5th graders. So we
Nice.
do that together. So he kind of takes the head spot on that because if there's ever conflicts and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. I get to.
So you're going to have more time for that now. Is that
Yeah.
the goal? Is that the goal of that? It's kind of.
I don't know. Maybe. I think our girls' teams hit a level where we can start going. Like, I've never been this, 7th grade teams need to go to Spooky Nook or go around the country and play other people's 7th graders that are decent, average players. We can take care of it locally.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're that good, play up an age group or something. But I think my daughter's team's getting to a place now where there's a good group of them that all kind of want to play at the next level, and we'll have to get out and start being a little bit more in that circuits and getting exposure, and that's a whole other.
How long you been married?
Oh man, good question. 16 years.
Good. My wife never knows.
My wife never knows either. I'm
the one who
right?
knows too. Yeah, good
Same.
for you. That's a good number to know. Yeah, be 19. But how does she? Is she a basketball? What's her story?
Oh my God, the beginning stages of our relationship with her, realizing what being a coach's wife was. She had no idea. I mean, absolutely no idea. The Bates job opened up when I just took the Foxborough job, and my coach Riley, who left, called me. He's like, "Hey, I can maybe get you in here for an interview. Would you be interested?" She's like, "Oh, I'll move up. I'll go with you to Portland." Like, she was always from the beginning right there. But then next thing you know, you expect her to go watch a game at Canton, and it's like, I'm busy. I don't go. I'm like, you got to be a coach's wife on Tuesdays and Fridays. I wanted her to be Krzyzewski's wife, and she wanted me to make $9 million a year. But it was.
What's her name? What's your
her
wife's
name's Gemily, and she's So yeah, she's Puerto Rican. She's like.
What's she do for work?
She's an assistant principal at OA, actually.
Oh, nice.
Just got it this year.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her. That's
she's
awesome.
She's a tough cookie, which is great.
Well, she must keep you in line. So
she does. She's got a lot of attitude.
That's
great.
good. Yeah,
it helps both
my
our
wife's
kids.
my wife's 100% Portuguese. She'll keep me in line. I'm
She's great.
Portuguese as well too, but yeah, she's great too. My wife played sports growing up, high school, all that fun stuff. So she kind of gets it.
Yeah, she was saying softball. Second
Yeah,
baseman,
she's played field hockey, softball. She's got her knees and legs are all scarred up. She'll play in some women's league and slide into third
But she
base or
told
something.
me.
Yeah,
So
she's
funny.
nuts, but at least she understands, like, why she loves that I coach.
Yeah.
She don't go to any games. She'll go to like
Yeah.
2 or 3 games a year. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like, as long as you're fine with me.
Right.
We practice late. She don't care if I'm there 6 to 9, 6 to 8,
That's
whatever
good.
it is too. Let's back up a little bit. Practices. Now that I just mentioned it,
Sure,
what's your thoughts with practices? Like at the high school level, how long? How many? You guys right after school, later in the day. What do you do? Like,
So we're usually the 3:30 or we got it switched a little bit recently, so it was like 3:30 or 4:30, which was great. It was 3:30 or 5:30, so it'd be the 2-hour window. And then we'd lift on Wednesdays and Sundays.
so you really just a couple of, like 2-hour practices
2
type
hours,
of thing.
yeah, usually. Unless there's film to be watched or something like that. I'll bring 'em in
Afterwards.
usually before.
Before
Yeah, I'll bring him in before practice. But it's
any
pretty good.
rituals you got?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a psycho.
You're a psycho.
Oh
I
my
love
God,
it.
I'm literally
Let's hear
I'm
it.
talking underwear, socks.
Really?
Oh my God, it's embarrassing. There's certain things I just won't wear ever to a game. certain
Really?
brands.
Come on, share now. This is the fun part. Man. Come on. What do you
I
got?
got certain socks that I have to wear. I got a parking spot. There's like a whole parking spot at Franklin where it's like lines up on the turf field. I won't not park there. There'll be a spot right next to the school. I'll drive all the way to the end of the line because I have to park in this row. I did it for 11 years. I would not park in any other spot.
What else? I love
Oh my
this.
God.
This is great.
Down the stretch of the last couple of seasons, they bought these Cadbury eggs in the office, and I had to have 3 Cadbury eggs before every film session.
You were eating 3
not
Cadbury?
the cream ones. The
Oh,
little-
okay.
the little
The
chocolate
little
guys.
You'd be dead. You'd be a diabetic eating those cream-filled things.
Coffees before games that weren't allowed to be drank until after film session, no matter when it happened. So I'd buy the coffee for the assistants, would go in, they'd have to sit in the office and get cold if you wanted. You had to reheat it in the microwave if you wanted one, because with no coffee before film session, we had to watch it, then come down, have the coffee for the JV game Every
Really?
freshman game, yeah.
So you're watching film before the freshman game, and then
Yeah,
Then
right
again,
before freshman game, we watch
Nice.
film. So like right after school, then they can go home and grab something and
nice.
kind of go from there.
Your coaches.
Yep.
I know one.
Assistants.
I know one because I love him.
Awesome.
So, but I know you got a whole crew over there. What do you
Yeah.
got? What do you got?
So Mike Doherty, he was a player on the 17 team, but like
Okay.
didn't get
Yeah.
on the court.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just like ML Carr kind of guy.
Yeah.
Super good teammate. He was a JV coach for me at age 19, which is crazy. He went to Framingham.
He's not that old. What is he?
He's young. He'll be so mad. I always say he's way older than he is because
Is he 30 yet?
It's like he's 30 now.
Yeah, I didn't
He
think
just
so.
got married. He's probably 26, 27. He'll
Yeah,
be
nice.
so mad if he hears this. He tells me all the time, but he just
Don't
got
worry. Just
married.
remember when you got how many years you're married, you'll be fine. He'll live.
His wife actually went to my basketball camp when she was a little kid, and I knew her before him. And I came and got the Franklin job, and I'm like, the first day of tryouts, he's in. I'm like, who the heck is Mike Doherty? You know, and he's like, I'm like, if you ever break Emma Liskov's heart, I will kill you. And he's like, I've never met this guy, but like,
Yeah.
he's already got me scared. And no, he's like a best friend for me. And then Ryan Perrin, I don't know, his dad coached in North Attleboro. Chris Perrin coached there forever. Buck Allen was my coach in high school, so he's a JV coach. He came over for the last 3 years, and it's like I think we lost maybe 6 games in 3 years, or
I
something
know.
crazy.
You guys
Like
are tough.
I'm like,
JV
dude,
teams.
what a life you've lived. You know, you come over here and it's just like everything's great. You know, you never have to deal with any of the other stuff. You know, he's the man though. I've known him since I was 14, 13 years old, which is
That's
cool.
good, man. That's really cool.
Having your old coach, it's like,
Yeah.
how cool is that?
Yeah,
Having him
yeah,
on the
yeah.
bench with you.
Well, you know what though? You want to turn around and ask a question, you're going to get a straight answer,
Absolutely.
right?
And he has a way with the kids. He's like, every team I think needs that coach that's funny and
Yeah.
can relax. Like I am not
Yeah.
relaxed. I am a funny person in my job at Foxborough. Like I'm that guy that's fun. But
Yeah.
you know,
I get to be the Energizer Bunny. Doug's
How awesome is that?
Yeah, like I'm the only one though. If practice is soft,
yeah.
we're gonna run. Like
Good.
that's that. They all love me, but they all know
Yeah.
if all of a sudden this practice is getting goofy or
Oh,
somebody,
sure. Yeah,
or you're done. Like it's between the rectangles different than everywhere
Right.
else. So
yeah, exactly. Right.
Do you have roles in with your coaches?
Yeah, we got Doherty's obviously the call guy, you know. I mean Doherty does some of the film work, Ryan does. I do most of the film stuff. I'll do most of the breakdowns, but he's in charge of like stocking your bench basically during games and getting every call and writing it down. Ryan's gonna do we have like ball reversal, paint touch stats, things like that. We have we just track like the fouls. Like we have coaches that do the typical timeouts and fouls, etc.
Yep.
You know, we have rebounding stats. So I have a lot of guys. It's just like everybody
Yeah.
volunteers. And you're like,
Wants to do
you're like,
stuff.
oh, you got 6 coaches. What's the deal? Who do you think you are? It's like, well, I don't know. We have great people that want to work with you. I'm not
Why
gonna
would
say
you do
no.
it?
They're
Yeah.
volunteering their time.
Yeah.
You know.
I like our staff's young. We're a
Yeah.
young staff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But they're all learning. You know what I mean? They're going to be a dangerous crew as they
Yeah.
keep getting older. I mean, I'm the old man.
How
know,
cool
and,
is that?
and I love it. You know what I mean? But each one of them, we'll have dinners here or whatever at my house and
Yeah.
stuff. I love that part of the camaraderie. You guys have that off the court stuff as well too.
That's honestly, I might miss that. Like it's one of the top levels of things I'll miss. You know, is the after game stuff or the hanging out or the driving to go scout somewhere together and the ball busting and
I see you guys in the stands. I usually wave.
so
How you
much
guys
fun.
doing?
Yeah, right, exactly.
I see you over there.
Tim Rogers, I would forget. I don't want to forget Tim Rogers either. He's incredible. That guy was the Boosters president when I got there, and his sons played for the previous coach, and then both of his sons played for me. So it's like he's in a cool mix. Once his kids left, he joined the staff. His dad is Jimmy Rogers for the Celtics and
Oh,
the
nice.
Bulls. So it's like
Wow.
what a cool mind, right? Just bring him
Wow.
in here,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, that's good
really
stuff.
fortunate. I got a
You-
great group of people.
The town of Franklin.
Yeah.
Town, right?
Sure.
City?
Town.
City of Franklin?
Town.
What is it?
Town. Pretty sure it's a town.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Town of Franklin.
I
I don't
should-
know. They both sound right though. City of Franklin, Town of Franklin.
I'm going
I think town.
I'm going town.
They support your program. I watched your Twitter. Thank you to this person for donating. Thank you to this company.
God,
Thank you
yeah.
to this company. Thank you to this company. Oh my God. I'm like, good Lord, you don't have to worry about buying uniforms or collecting money
No.
or any of that crap, right?
No, you're in a nice spot. I mean, honestly, Franklin's obviously a pretty well-off town. pull punches here. It's like people,
It's affluent.
people do
You
well.
say
and-
affluent. It's not a bad
right,
word.
They're
Yeah,
affluent. They
it's an
do
affluent
well,
town.
and they're willing to support and spend their
I think
money
it's
on
great.
the local stuff, which
Yeah.
is another reason why the job is incredible. I said when I first got the job, I felt like Calipari going from Memphis to Kentucky. Memphis was a great deal. Did a great job. It was an awesome place to be. But when you can go to Kentucky and have all these resources, like
That's
why
a good
wouldn't- why
analogy.
wouldn't you,
It's a good analogy, Foxborough and
Yeah.
Franklin. Both great towns. I
Right.
mean, they really are both in a unique way, both great towns. Anything else on your mind? Believe it or not, 6:45. Wow. Time flies
Fun,
by.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Anything else on your mind when we're shooting here?
This is great. Honestly, this is so much fun. Like I could talk all day. I was really excited to be here. So
I want to ask you, I want to say a couple names and I think we've answered them all, but like, if I say their name, just what's your thought? And actually, I want to ask you one more question before we do that, because I know you have your own AAU program, but you know all the other AAU programs out there, right? And,
there's so many now that.
what do you think of the Middlesex Magic and what they're doing over
It's
there?
a great program. Karate does a good job. He's been a good resource for me in building my own too. I've been able to call him and ask him about stuff, and we've had some guys play for them, like Caden played for them, Sean O'Leary. Caden came up with Take Charge in 8th grade, and it was kind of like, all right, like I'm Caden Sullivan. I got to go. And you're a cool coach, but I got to go to the next level, which I totally get. And
and you're okay with that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I've never, even with kids that left us for prep school or whatnot, those are sad moments for me that, you lose a guy that you like and you've worked with.
You don't lose too many though.
Just a couple. There was a couple there where
you shouldn't. Franklin's a great town.
Exactly.
You're going to spend the money to be in Franklin. Good Lord, take advantage of what they got to offer there too.
The 08 team, the 18 team, would have been, we had a couple guys that could have helped us that had gone and left. And I don't want to throw his name out there, but he would like sit behind the bench in the huddle at our state tournament games. And I'm like, dude, get in a uniform,
right?
Win this game,
Right.
Maybe we could have beat Mansfield.
I can't tell you. We have some kids that do the same thing, and like I said, the kid from OA Bishop Fian, the baseball player, he hadn't had a good game all year. He came and dropped 35 on all his friends and 25 rebounds and single-handedly beat us,
of course,
in our own tournament. And within 12 hours, we're playing Mansfield. We got rocked at that next game too. It was like a turning point in our season this past year, because it was one of those things where it was like, I think we were undefeated or something up until that point. And then we just, like, in 18 hours, we got smoked in 2 games. And it was this
wake-up call.
Huge wake-up call for us. But
we lost as a variant and had this.
Why you got to be so pumped up to play all your friends? Why leave them? Come play with your friends and win a state championship.
Right. How much fun would this have been?
If you're 6'9" and can throw 100 miles an hour, Texas is going to find you no matter where you are.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh my God.
Couldn't agree
more. Good
more.
Lord. And that's I do have an opinion about that. I think a lot of this high school stuff, and I get it, there's an education part to it that you can't argue with. There is.
There is.
But if you're going for athletics, I'm not a super fan of it.
I agree with that.
I'm not.
Unless you're at that next level.
If you need the academics and they're going to pay for it, then let that take advantage of it. But I know some kids that are paying college type money.
That's crazy.
To be at a school.
So my daughter's at a place now where that interest is starting to creep in. We've had some attention from some schools, and I look at the bill and the coach is, we're really interested. We're really interested. I'm like,
it's college
70
type
grand for high school, man. Like, you better be interested to the level of 60.
Yeah.
60,
I got to get a free college just to pay for high school.
Exactly.
What are we talking about? That's cool. So I don't think there's anything else. My list was small. It was family. It was AAU defense.
Yeah.
There's flip the screen a little bit. Oh, hold on. Just keep it right here. This quote up here, and I had written it down. I just thought it's perfect. And you won the state tournament. There's a great picture of him right here. Sometimes it's hard to see him. We'll throw it up there, but it says, it's bigger than basketball. We always say, your quote right there. We always say that being part of something bigger than yourself is the key to high school sports. I'm proud we were able to establish that this year. Well, Coach, you established it way more than this year. I mean that. Like, you're so well respected. I know in the Hawk, extremely well expected. A lot of Hawk teams are glad to see you go. It's a
weird.
total compliment. It's a total compliment. We weren't glad to see you go this year. Honestly, we playing Mansfield, we do that on purpose. We want to see how we
Yeah.
measure up every year, you know, and thanks to you that we had a measuring stick that we don't live up to it. We haven't lived up to it, BR. It's that simple. We're going to keep striving to try to be that better
guys are gonna
team.
be
You know what I
fine.
mean? And what you've done over there, though, it wasn't always that good before you. So you took what could be a nice Cadillac and made it into a superstar sports car. You know what I mean? So congratulations to you, what you've done over there.
Thank you.
I think all those kids over there, I think they don't understand until later in life what it all was. And I know I see Ed Hill. I coached him AAU a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah?
Yeah, because he came over for Dougie for a couple of tournaments, and I actually coached a couple of their local tournaments before they went off to nationals. And what a great kid.
Yeah.
That Caden Sullivan, what a great kid.
Definitely.
You know, but that comes with a coach that can help them.
Yeah,
and it's
the parents in the community.
Yeah, but
you know, I don't.
When thank you for being humble.
Yeah.
Humble is a great thing, and that's what you're teaching them as well too, because they are all humble. They're humble and they're winners, and they're continuing to strive like that. And coach, the main reason is because they have. Yes, everybody wants their parents' support and love, but man, do they want their coaches. And if you're getting that from them and you're getting that out of them, I mean, you have no right being the best man-to-man defensive team. You don't have all the talent in the world, but you're getting that out of them. So congratulations to you, your coaching staff, your community. The whole thing right now is up there and running, and you're handing the keys to somebody that's not fair. It's literally not. You should give it to a guy from Foxborough who was sub 500 and really put in the time, because
that's what
they might be ready to go up there. If you just hand it off to, and maybe, I don't know, it's Doherty, whoever ends up getting it, if they're within the system, good for that too, because I think that's important as well. But, you know, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming down here today.
This is awesome. I can't believe people want to talk to me about it.
I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. You know, I think that people will watch this and learn a lot as well too. I don't think you understand what's in that brain of yours. It's great. I might ask you to come back someday. I'm thinking about doing a coaches forum.
It'd be great.
Have 4 or 5 different coaches here and
this is the best.
Hacking around.
I had a great time.
Good. Darius, what do you think? Still over there?
What happened to that thing you said your dad wanted me to see?
Oh yeah. Did you get something there?
Yeah, I'll just pull it up on my phone. Since
I got nervous. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up.
Oh no. You know what? Coach Doug Allis, Bridgewater Rainham, head coach is Darius's father. If you haven't heard that earlier, and I think he has a message. Why don't you bring that? You can bring that over here, and then I can add it in to the film as well too. So you can just give it to CJ. We'll send it to me, and then I'll edit it up in here so we can get an idea of it. But Doug's been the BR head coach for what, 10 plus years now already. Up to the microphone.
Although I've recognized you as a champion for a long time now, even before winning the state championship this past season, the class that you and your teams have displayed in competition and the way you carry yourself and the quality of play of your teams has been second to none. I just want to say, job well done, and wish you and your family all the best in your retirement. Gonna miss competing against you, but I won't miss being knocked out of the tournament. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. You knocked us out 2 years in a row.
Such a good dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like forever growing up and watching and seeing him play. But it was when I was younger, it's just like
he's a gym rat.
Stud.
He's a gym
Absolute
rat.
stud.
He is a gym rat.
Great person too. Just a great guy.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thank you, CJ. I really appreciate you, man. Episode 7 in the books, D. Again, this is the Hey Coach podcast. Hey, we're here for local coaches who make a difference, local sports people. If you have somebody and you're out there and our audience is growing and you think that they should be on this, let me know. You can reach us or find us and message us on all of our social media platforms that are here, and hopefully we'll continue to grow this audience for our local coaches. Appreciate you, CJ. Be good. Darius, it's a wrap. Thanks, brother.